Okay friends, so I am gonna let you in on one of my personal secrets here. This curry, out of all the curries, is my most favorite. No, I can't say that because I love all curries, plus other curries. No. It's really hard to pick a favorite curry because they're all like amazing children. A spoonful of this crab curry will give you all the feels. Fresh herbs, loaded with flavor, and yeah, this one is really spicy. This is my version of Southern Thai crab curry. Okay friends, so this curry right here, it is like one of my all-time favorites from Thailand, and actually since I left Bangkok because of COVID and I've been living here in Australia, this is the one I've missed the most. I'm not gonna lie, it can be very tricky to make with ingredients outside of Thailand. So I have made my version, this version that should actually be easier for you guys to make at home as well, because not all of you live in Thailand. So here goes. This is a version that will give you the same beautiful feeling that the Southern Thai curry in Thailand would give you, but with a few substitutions. So let's talk about chilies first of all. So I'm using some dried chilies here. These have been soaking in some hot water to soften them up a little. And these ones are dried bird's eye chilies. So they are like way hotter than your average bear. You could use the milder, larger ones if you would like. Traditionally, this curry is very spicy, like really on fire spicy. So I like to go with, you know, the really hot ones. But you just want to grab a hold of those chilies, squeeze out that water. Now don't throw away that chili water because we're gonna need to use that a little bit later on. So our next characters in this story are some galangal and some ginger. So these guys kind of look the same, but they're not. I know, so if you have a look here, the galangal typically is, you know, has little pink tips, it's a bit darker, and the ginger, you know, a lot of you would be familiar with ginger. Now, galangal might be a little bit difficult to get a hold of in your area. If it is, leave it out and just add a little bit of extra ginger. The flavor won't be quite the same, but you'll still get the same idea. So with the galangal, you just want to break off a piece, and it's a lot firmer and tougher than ginger, and just sort of cut off a lot of that really hard exterior. Galangal has a really lovely sort of like pine forest or citrusy kind of smell and flavor. That's what sets it apart from the ginger. Just some rough pieces here. Now for the ginger, just peel that. And even if you've never tackled making a curry paste from scratch at home, it's actually a really nice way to kind of make friends with Thai or Asian ingredients. So, you know, don't be scared. Again, just some rough chunks here. Now for some lemongrass. The outer stalks can be a little tough, so I just peel them back a little and then just chop that. Next up, you want some shallots, some garlic. Now we want some magurd lime leaves. So they look like this, and they have a really beautiful lime fragrance, obviously. But what you need to do here is just take the stem out. And now for the herbs. So we're going in here with some coriander root. Now, a lot of you guys have asked me about coriander root. It's not its own thing. It is actually just the root end of the coriander or the cilantro, which might be what it's called where you are from. So if you can't get the actual roots, that's okay, just go with some of the stem. And look, if you can't get a hold of these as well, you could use some lime zest instead. Now for the spices. Ground cumin, ground coriander seed, and a pinch of salt here. Now we have shrimp paste. So, shrimp paste is one of those things that you should not smell. Just put it in. Don't put it anywhere near your nose. I know it's a little whiffy, but it really does add like a salty umami flavor. And you know, you only need a little bit, but it makes a world of difference. It's like that little pinch of salt. Always necessary. It's a little thing, but it makes a big difference. Now give that a blend. And what you'll notice whenever you're making a curry paste in a blender, because obviously, you know, traditionally you would do it in your mortar and pestle and it would be beautifully bruised and smushed to gloriousness. But I understand that that's not everyone's cup of tea. So if you have a look in here, blenders kind of chop rather than smush, which means you need a little bit more liquid to kind of get everything really going. So get some of that chili water, scoop that in. You really can't add too much here. I mean, don't go and add the whole lot, but because it's just water, it will evaporate when you put it in the pan anyway. It's much better than adding oil at this stage. The oil will like emulsify and change the texture of the curry paste, which I don't really like. So water is way better. Now just blend until you have a smooth paste. You might just need to like sort of open up and kind of brush that down every now and then. And now this is the kind of situation that we're looking for here. A nice fine, I still like it a little rustic, you know, I don't mind that kind of, you know, the little bits and pieces in there, that's kind of cool. So I'm gonna get that out into my bowl. And now the final character for our curry paste story is some turmeric. Now you could put the turmeric into your blender, but then you will stain your whole blender yellow. So I like to put it in at the end. Just mix it through. So now you've got your beautiful curry paste. Now this will probably make 2 to 3 curries. And the reason I say 2 to 3 is that it depends on how hot you like your curry. You can use less curry paste to make it more mild or more to make it hotter. I wouldn't go more than 2. I wouldn't make one batch with this because literally your mouth will be on fire. Okay, so to start off with, you want a little bit of oil. And the first step for any kind of curry making generally is to do what's called bloom the curry paste. So you add it into your oil and you want just enough sizzle here. I don't want it too hot. I want a little bit of sizzle here so that I'm cooking out those aromatics, the raw garlic, the raw shallots. They all need some time to kind of get a bit more mellow, and the spices need time to really kind of let their aromas and their beautiful flavor go. So that's what we're doing here. So after about a minute or so, everything should be smelling amazing by now. I want you to add in some coconut milk. And the crab. Now I'm just using some store-bought picked crab here. If you can get frozen crab in your area or even tinned crab, you could use that too. And I've also done this with fresh prawns as well, and even fish will do. So, you know, go with what you can in your own local area. I don't want you to miss out on this because you can't get something. Okay, let that bubble away, and I'm just going to add in some little extra bits and pieces here. So I need first of all some water to kind of thin this out a little. I don't want it too creamy. It's not about being creamy, it's more about being spicy. So a little water. And we need to now adjust with our seasonings. So I'm using some palm sugar here, and I definitely don't want to make this curry sweet, but some of that heat needs a little bit of balance. So add a little bit of that. Now next up, some fish sauce. And what you're aiming for here with this curry is that when you first taste it, you should get like a big hit of chili, but then you should get this really beautiful kind of salty umami flavor coming through, and that comes from the fish sauce. So be generous with the fish sauce. Now just let that bubble away gently for 15 minutes. Don't boil it too rapidly because you don't want that coconut milk to split. And by then, all the little bits and pieces in there will be one beautiful, harmonious, lovely crab curry flavor. All right guys, this is currently smelling so ridiculously tempting. We are ready to go. Now, first of all, I want to just test the seasoning here. So always with Thai curries or most Thai dishes, or you really want to get that balance of the flavors. And by balance of flavor, I just mean it should just taste good to you. But that means, there could be some adjustment. Anyway, let me get in here and try. Okay, so I'm checking for like saltiness and sweetness. Oh, that tastes good. Oh man. But I'm thinking, yeah, we're spot on with that fish sauce and the palm sugar. I actually don't need to add anything, which is actually unusual. Usually I do add a little bit at the end, but oh man, that's good. We're not finished yet though. We need to add in here some fresh herbs. Now, in Thailand, you would add what's called bai chaplu. So that is a particular kind of herb. It's called a betel leaf, and it has a really beautiful medicinal herbal loveliness. But I just can't get a hold of it where I am in Australia. So if you can get a hold of betel leaf, please slice and put those in here. I'm gonna use some Thai basil though, because that's what I have that's available. And it will still give you that kind of like, that herb freshness, if you like. But you want a whole lot. It's almost like another vegetable in this curry. Just mix that through and we are good to go. Now, when I'm eating this in the south of Thailand or at my favorite southern Thai restaurant in Bangkok, typically you are always going to get some beautiful noodles on the side, either rice vermicelli or what we call knom tin noodles. But I've got vermicelli here today. Now I'm just going to ladle some of that curry in here. Okay, so when you go to eat this, you grab your noodles, you get a whole bunch of curry on top, you mix it all up. I'm just gonna go in here and let's just have a look at this with the herbs, with everything. Oh, I mean, guys, if there is one curry that you are going to make from Thailand, make this one. Oh, wow, you really get, like, it is hot. It is really like almost I'm gonna die hot, but beneath that heat is a beautiful amount of like savory, salty, crabby, like fresh herb, coconutty, like all the things. And even with the substitutions, still amazing. Yum. If you've got any comments or questions, pop them below. And if you enjoyed the video, why not hit that subscribe button plus the little bell one, and that way you'll get notified every time I release a new video. Thanks guys.